threat to many countries, including the United States, and they need to be put to an end. My first point is about the effectiveness of ground troops versus airstrikes. Troops on the ground are better able to understand the land and communicate that back to the U.S. in cases needed for future purposes. They can also plan more reliable attack strategies, better understand how the enemy has been fighting because they are seeing the land in person. Groups of soldiers on the ground can also capture and interrogate enemies with connections to help get information about ISIS if they are on the ground, rather than in the air. An article by Max Boot stated, "Experience shows that combat advisors fighting alongside indigenous troops are far more effective than trainers confined to large bases. Limited airstrikes have not worked, and combat troops will be able to seek out and destroy anything minor. Sometimes airstrikes don't even hit their targets, and innocent civilians can be killed." No, thank you. The United States has even attempted these airstrikes in early 2015 and failed for 3 months. Yes.
You said oil strikes haven't worked, but they've destroyed many of ISIS's oil refineries where most of their money comes from.
Well, that's oil refineries.
Well, that's where most of their money comes from, and that's how they run off of it.
But combat troops has been better. They have taken out ISIS important members. Have airstrikes done that?
Yes.
Troops are more precise and accurate. The first problem seen in this plan, however, is risking the lives of American soldiers. But the soldiers are well aware that they are risking their lives, and they would rather have their lives at risk than endanger the people back home in their country. They agreed to fight for us, and we are honored. The second thing I want to establish is that the persistence of using combat troops pays off. Recently, there was a raid where an important ISIS figure was taken down. According to several articles, its leader was second in command. Nothing. This attack carried through was by a group of combat soldiers. The soldiers also seized computers from ISIS members after the raid. Author Marcus Wiesberger stated, "The Friday raid appears to have been the first time U.S. officials acknowledged putting troops into Syria for offensive actions against ISIS. This stands to show that these combat troop attacks are a great fighting method that pays off. These attacks include the force that is terrorizing the world. As you can see, combat troops are very effective." My third assertion is that people feel a need that there needs to be attacked as soon as possible. According to a Huffington Post article about how the government should send ground troops to fight ISIS, a statistic stated that nearly 7 in 10 Americans said that the United States has not been aggressive enough in the fight against ISIS. Also, 64% disapprove of Obama's way of handling the situation. This is a country that is run by the people for the people. We have a right to be protected, and it needs to happen soon. This terrorist organization is only getting bigger, and their force is spreading. Yes.
If you think about it, though, don't you think that these people that they're doing this survey on, where did you get that? The Huffington Post?
Yes.
What people did that come from?
People that they survey.
What people?
Citizens of the U.S.
What logic is put into that? Where did they get their information?
What do you mean?
Where are these people are just deciding from what they think they know, not research done on this topic. So,
But if the citizens in the U.S. don't feel safe enough in our country, because ISIS is still a very important threat, and airstrikes have not worked, combat troops are very effective and are taking out ISIS members, so that ISIS is depleting, and so U.S. Americans are going to feel safe.
okay, but if we rush into attacking them and sending our ground troops in and losing American lives, if we rush into it without thinking about the consequences and what could come out of it and looking at other alternatives, then wouldn't it be worse for us? And wouldn't it just have a negative impact on American society and our citizens?
Combat troops don't necessarily, they don't lose lives in the raid. The raid I was talking about, none of the U.S.
Time.
Finish your statement.
None of the U.S. soldiers got killed or injured.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's
Alright, I'm going to tell you why we shouldn't send ground troops to fight ISIS. Okay, so there have been many political leaders weighing in on this issue, and one of them, Bernie Sanders, said that Syria, where ISIS is mainly located, is a quagmire inside of a quagmire, and it's basically when you come into a stop in war, and so like they have problems with their leader and they have problems with ISIS, and why do we need to get into their problems? And risk our American lives? No, thank you. And we're losing money off of this too. And one of our biggest foreign policy blunders, as Josh mentioned, was Vietnam, and we don't want to have another one of those. And Russia and China also realize it is a problem, but they are going against them because they know they have more important things to worry about, like the Ukraine issue in Russia. And if we send troops over there, they can capture some of our troops and post videos of them beheading some of our American troops, and this could be a form of recruiting for them, and it could maybe help them grow and go against America. And you could also, and we don't have to send ground troops against them. We could send our resources because they have Iraq armies there, and you can send troops to them. That you can send supplies to them because their troops numbers already outnumber ISIS. And you don't really need to worry about them turning on you for it because there's limited support for ISIS in the Middle East. The highest is only 20%, and that's Syria, the main country where ISIS is out of. And lastly, we could use airstrikes instead of ground troops because they've decimated, no thank you, they've decimated many of ISIS oil refineries, and that's their main place of money production. Yes.
Well, airstrikes, they are not very accurate, so they can hurt innocent civilians in Syria. So, what do you think about that?
Well, those civilians, they should know enough to get out of there.
If
No,
it's
thank
like
you.
airstrike-
And no, thank you. No, thank you. In the end, we can't fall into ISIS's traps. We must stay away from the damage that they could cause us. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.